Must be a way across. Zoroaster, the gods. Are they dead? How can this be?
Before you hangs a great cursed tendrils tighten around Zoroaster. Her lips are moving, but no... As the cursed tendrils slacken, Zoroaster inhales deeply, air wheezing into her throat. Wheezes become a hum, then a
champion I called. My champion did. Together we gazed into the black. We turned our backs to it. You have come. My chosen. It is not too late. Not yet. But yes. And while we quibbled, an enemy greater than any one of us stole in like a thief in the... But here you are. I saw it as I drifted here, at the midpoint between reality and oblivion. I saw Rivalon, but there was no Rivalon. I grow cold now, even thinking about it. It was not a dream, Godwoken. It was a threat. It was a vision of the void, and it made me tremble. You must. Soon the Seven will be nothing but morsels in the maws of the void. You have already set loose some of the powers locked within you. But you cannot stop until you ascend to the highest. You cannot stop until you... Like Lucian, you will be called to unite the...
She opens her mouth to respond, but stops dead. Her head jerks from side to side, searching for...
You must hurry. I hear it singing to me. Fire and ice, death and skulls, black... Go!
White-hot cold pierces...
What's happened here? Where is everyone?
The same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
The gods are dead. Long live the Godwoken. If the Seven should indeed...
I had dreams of what I should say if I saw the Seven Lords once more. But that...
Gods, schmods. They aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them. It seems whatever's inside me is more...
This place is strange. I cannot bear you away from here. You must find other means so that we can leave. The one who brought us here. The demon that wears the face of my kin. Only she can set the course back to the land of the living. She is here still. I can feel her. Death washed over me as we entered this place. I felt many lives extinguish in a single moment.
Where is everybody?
Hidden away somewhere, safe from the storm, I hope.
People are going to perish. People are going to... She'll do it now. She'll never stop.
Ifan's spirit stares at you, seemingly through you. There is neither affection nor blame in his expression. He gives no sign of seeing you. Ifan's eyes flicker rapidly from side to side, as if trying to take in, and he whispers, Gleku Duma, over and over, and suddenly you seem to hear the chattering of Then, before your eyes, his spirit dissolves into the sound, his own voice that you could hear, for now no sound remains.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. Seeker's dead, Alexander missing, God-woken passengers deceased. And unless you want to die too, we need to go. Now. Brace yourself. This might hurt. A lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine prickles your...
Oh, one moment, please. Oh, just a moment.
Malady explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something.
Better. Let's not do that again anytime soon, Well, we needed to escape, didn't we? So I took us the one place I suppose you recognized the Hall of Echoes from those visions you'd had before. Realm of the Dead. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you... Well then, it sounds...
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks...
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Oh, what confidence. Luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all. You need to go see the Meister. Oh, she's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. Home. Give me your map. There you are. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long? Now. I must be going. And so must you. Shopping. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly... Before you go... If I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me, but I would be grateful.
Plenty of fighters for hire. Experts in... Oh, I see you have a full contingent already.
Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there can be no wrong. Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right. I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you. Why, it was your ally, Malady, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. Rather flattering to enjoy the favor of such a powerful being. honor me with your repeated presence.
A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open. It gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak.
No! Die here! Monsters in the water! Monsters in the deep! Monsters bigger! More and more!
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then it turns...
What happened here?
Kurwa.
Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. But what happened here?
No, no, no! Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true.
White as driftwood salt, Aurora flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft. Her fierce stance can't hide the trembling of her fingers.
Back! Get back! I'll kill you, just like the rest of them!
She slumps, all bravado draining from...
No. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
Her eyes widen and lose focus, as though she's seeing something.
Those? Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves. Dead. 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 And the sorcerers. Sorcerers. Gone.
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Duna's beard. Lohar. My boss Lohar will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember. Helping sorcerers. We thought we could help them against the Magisters, but...
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass.
Looky here, folks.
That doesn't sound promising, does it?
The little boy lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before...
Oh, Ma! Are you alright? Huh? There was a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters, and there were sorcerers too, and they killed everyone. And my ma got them to chase her, and she went across the bridge, and then she raised the bridge, and she told me to run. Not without Ma. Family doesn't just leave each other. You will. Maybe you can cross the river then. Ma lifted the bridge, but there's got to be another way, right? Yeah.
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small flat pebble and chucks it across the river.
I'll keep distracting him. No way.
He performs a divine order.
Now go!
Gone. Baby Eggy gone for good. Help! 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 Marge! Marge knows. Marge saw. Ask Marge.
The kid is whistling an off-key tune as he strolls about shiftily. He raises an eye.
Ain't up to out. Just looking for Cena. Ben Mesd. Too bad.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles.
I saw. They were stolen. The babies, the eggs. Something took them. Big as a cow, big as a house, and many legs. Too many. If I showed you, you could bring them back. You could map. Show me your map.
In a flurry of feathers, she leaps up and pecks a...
That's where they are. I went after my babies. I saw where they went. But they've changed so much. Bring them back.
There's one unaffected egg behind them. Perhaps there's still a chance.
Oh shit, what the fuck? That was dead.
There you are, little egg.
Baby's gone! Stolen eggs! Help, 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 help! Transform! Not a chicky baby!
She leaps up and grabs the egg with her foot, kicking it under her.
Shh, little beep.
She cocks a black eye up at you.
Thank you. I have something for you. Something I buried behind the coop. Unless some other script.
I've spotted something.
Please, why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
A fly buzzes around the dwarf's mutilated head. For a moment it lands, crawls across his open eye and takes... A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other...
Step away from the prisoner, reptile! She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker, and she's a bloody traitor. You're going to... what, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
Do you even know what...
I'll regret this, I know.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet. Her face...
Welcome to Driftwood, God.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Or indeed you could stand there gawping as if you were a cow ordered to dance a reel. It is a masterful performance. I would applaud it, but well. Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return? God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, best scurry off before that Magister wanders back. Meet me at my...
The musical song. You've thought about taking up the lute. I got a few ready to go, all freshly strung. It's like I always said. Everyone's got a melody in him. You just gotta look. Me brother Laszlo couldn't carry a tune in a bucket when he were a wee thing. He's all right then, yeah? That's Laszlo, all right. If he had the blues, you'd never know it. I hate the Magisters for what they've done. Stole me brother. I keep going though, hoping to get to Ark sooner than later. Lucian's Day crowds will be wanting some musical trifles. Useful? You mean deadly. Used to make bows and fletch arrows, but left that hobby behind. There's no shortage of suffering, that's for sure. Come back later then. I need a bit of time to...
Traveler, you are... Everything grows here. Dear child, you sacrifice too much. You need peace.
A great pounding suddenly erupts in your chest. Your inner god...
It is awful how she treats you. She asks so much and gives so... I am the only one who cares. Don't play her game. Think of yourself. Rest here. The sun is...
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a strong current. The fatigue then surges back.
Don't fight it. I only wanted to give you rest, not pain. I am...
Cože? Piče.
A fly buzzes around.
Is this really...
A Magister guard...
Step away from the prisoner, reptile! She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead. You're going to... What, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her. I'll regret...
The lizard hangs.
Welcome to
One bloody...
Chase. Or indeed you could stand there, Gork. Be quick about it. Who... God's teeth.
I bet you're the musical sort. It's like I always... He's up. That's last... I ate the Magister. I keep going, though. Hoping to get to Ark sooner than... Useful? Ah. You mean deadly? There's no come back later.
Up ahead, paladins, the famous divine protectors of Arks. I wonder what they're doing here, so far from home.
Halt, traveller, if you please. Who goes there? Ha! If you're looking for adventure, east's the way to go. It's a void-woken hellhole over there. Sorcerer at work. Powerful one. Of course, you could wait holding the fort like we always do. Usually the fort in question is bigger than this one, but you do the job in front of you, don't you? Seems... What should you expect beyond the bridge? Ha! Expect sorcery of the highest order. Expect void-woken. Go on through, adventurer.
Till war is done.
A weary paladin strips equipment from the bodies of the dead, singing softly to himself. He looks you up and down, then nods a greeting.
Oh, pity you just arrived. We could have used adventurers like you in that last fight. We're short-handed, deserters, if you can believe that. Abandoned their post and wandered off into the wastelands. Left there. We think alike, you and I. See the captain, adventurer.
A senior paladin sits hunched over a tattered map. He registers your presence.
Who are you, and who sent you?
He appraises you with a look. Then...
I think I've heard about you. Didn't you free the Meister from the gallows in Driftwood? Then I may well have a job for you, if you're interested.
He taps a finger on the map.
Here, in the Black Pits, are White Magisters. Their operation is shrouded in mystery, and this pricks our ears. We are gravely concerned. We believe the White Magisters may have strayed into the darkness. We suspect that Dallas herself and her master Vriedemann are the inspiration for these dark endeavors. Look under the white veil of secrecy and report back. How much do you want? I have fewer paladins to pay, so I have ready gold. But there are limits.
He breaks into laughter.
Done! And
he offers you an item. A whistle-like device sits nestled in your hand.
When you're ready, send a war owl. Be careful out there. It's a dangerous place these days. And I'd like to think I'll hear...
He looks you in the eye.
Don't get caught.
Greetings. It's a brave lizard who travels this road.
It's a braver one who crosses the bridge and travels east. You have my admiration.
Well, there you are. Been trying my hand at a few bows and such like you asked. Hope you like what you see. Anything else you want to chat about? Same to you. Well, there you are. Anything else you want to chat about? Use the best wood I can find. Good rosewood ain't too common, but loot I like playing too. The same to you.
The little squirrel cowers beneath a leafy frond, peeping up at you through...
Please! Please don't step on me! My...
Out of my way, two legs. It's mating season. I've got plenty. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Here be witchery. Trespass not.
Oh my gods, you're ugly. You turn milk green and a Magister's red coat black. My Mistress Alice might fancy you, though. She has a taste for the odd. The Magisters with the red coats chased her into the woods. Brr.
Momencik bitti.
Smells of lavender and charred flesh. It's almost homely.
Yeah. Hello. Stand back.
Is that her eye? Did she pluck out her own eye?
Oh my god!
Don't you shush me, Geraldine. I'll... Shh! Basta! I know they're still here. My apologies for my idiot friend. You won't believe it. You won't believe it, Mabel. You'll think we're... Truth is, kind sir, that we are not, in fact, cow... We're people. Captives, to be exact. Enslaved by the witch. You're not here to visit Alice Elysian, are you? So will you help him? He won't help us. Look at him. Can barely help himself. Yes, sir. Please help us. Just get us something to drink.
What my friend here means to say, kind sir, is that there's a cure for our condition. Alice Elysian has it in her house. If we...
Don't mention the rats.
For God's sake, Geraldine.
What rats?
They're just ordinary rats. Nothing special or awful about them at all. Wouldn't let them worry you.
The witch ain't here.
What my friend wishes to say is that Alice went into the cloisterwood collecting herbs and hasn't been seen in some time. Would you mind awfully procuring for us a small potion that Alice Elysian keeps in her cellar? We'd rather like to, you know, assume our rightful form. I humbly thank you. You won't...
Oh my God, stop!
Hello there. A fine day it is, and the finest day for a wee saunter through the trees it is too. Not even... Oh, just the best. I've made more money today than in the last month combined. Thanks to a group of magisters who were in such a hurry, some sorcerer who fled by early, and she paid a handsome toll to... Whoa! I do try to be nice about it and all that. But this bridge, since it is such a fine day, I can let you pass at a discount if you entertain me with tales of valiant void-woken battle. Otherwise, full price.
Resting his kindly face on steepled fingers, Marge eagerly awaits your tale. Wide-eyed, Marge nods in appreciation.
Now that is a story. For that, you can pass for it. Over you go. And be sure to appreciate the bewitching views as you cross my magnificent bridge.
Ježišmarja, jak jsem měl jít tudy.
Bears ahead. Honey bears.
You want some honey? You can't have it. Bees are dead. Bees are dead. Bees! Oh, bees dead. You can't have it.
Retardi.
Something got your attention, boy?
Something got your attention, boy?
Must halt. The hound smells sauce on you. Plenty of it. Haven't got a collar for you. Damn it. I'm sorry, but I can't let you leave. Hounds, at the ready. Didn't have hounds on them, did they? I'm sorry, but I've got no choice. Attack!
I'll yield to none.
Dement. Buzerante.
What's even the...
Swear it! Get her, Dallas! Get that sorcerer!
This town looks peaceful enough. Let's find out if looks deceive.
Oh, we dwarves at a kingdom.
The Meister's back! The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the...
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient...
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of... Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, God or even a reptile can provide. However, it is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to...
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, she stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before...
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own... We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine. Come, God-woken. It is time... Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Your talent following, push the button. Now, kindly go...
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite front. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination.
Excellent. Follow me.
things? Weird contraptions? This place is an
Feel
arcanist's
free to look
dream.
about while I catch my breath. Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? And you, in your infinite wisdom, would know what is better? You would judge your enemies without prejudice and make decisions that could... No. Becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snap. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be evil.
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients...
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot, nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and druidinet. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to dim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you...
Deepest recess of my soul? But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as... It looks haggard and weak. Its very voice but a feeble echo of your...
My chosen! Come closer, so that you may see me. Look me.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites...
Blind eyes? Speak the spell, and see. Please, speak the...
God is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Zol.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion.
Zol nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, you must realize that our fates are now as one. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the void, that means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us. That is where the road to divinity leads. And you must be the first to reach it at all costs. I know. Or did you think one must never enter into any endeavor, though, without realizing the stake? The void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension. Not only he who claims everything will be everything. The void's doom, this world's liberator. It's very simple, really. They will, but of course, that is what they are saying to their own god woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One. So make no mistake, my champion. Chances are the road to divinity will be... But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin and your loved ones and the world. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being a... So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you're ready. When you've become a true master, our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a god-woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into...
You flatter me, my chosen. But if all I had to do was give, you would long... We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need... So, return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to... Once you have, you may return to me here. Something that'll make you understand that for a god, source is. It is a constant, a subject. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Best of luck.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and...
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after...
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack...
You can't channel enough source? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of source. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows. And certainly enough... So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling the leg. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains...
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me, your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be in, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these...
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes.
You can see me. Oh, God. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what Meister tells me it cannot happen. That I am not God-woken, but in my heart, I know I'm special. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out.
The spirit looks at you regret.
It is hard to hear of such power, and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself.
Let it be known henceforth to each and every subject here, in the absence of our beloved Alexander, Bishop Divine, slain with as were let fly by the perfidious lizards of the Divine Order of Lucian, is now Dallas. The hammer shall hail to the hammer.
Dallas leads the order. Lucian will be rolling in his grave.
Stop these disappearances. My career
The dead
is at stake.
don't care. It's the living who should be fearful.
Nelson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Right away. I'm watching you, stranger. That's Magister business. Keep...
Surrounded by incompetence. I deserve a better posting.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his...
What do you want, lizard? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Manchesters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Good to hear someone cares about our missing uniforms. If we don't find the culprit soon, I fear we'll lose another good recruit. I'm not some foot soldier, you clod. I can't put myself at risk. We've lost 3 of our number to this Higba fiend so far. I won't move from here until he's in a cell or in a box. Hardly. By all accounts, he seemed like just another money-grubbing no matter. He'll face justice either way. If you catch sight of that dog, tell me or my men... Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then. Bellwether, I need those reports, Captain.
Right away.
What am I going to do?
The spirit floats in front of you, his eyes unfocused and darting. Looking down at his mangled corpse at your feet, you see that the front is relatively unmarked, but his back has been eviscerated. Long, jagged cuts run the length of his torso. The spirit's eyes move in your direction, trying to focus.
A voice. Oh, I can still hear it in the dark. I can hear it whispering. He won't stop. They click and clatter, chitter and laugh. Insects with a dwarf's tongue. They came from above.
The spirit doubles up, raking his hands across his face. Ghostly neck.
No, I can hear it. Not the...
The spirit shudders and cries.
Oh, Divine Lucian, protect me. You 7 ancient gods, please. Don't let it...
The spirit's eyes dart left and right. The bull lazily chews.
Well, guess I should have seen that coming. Dying, of course. As soon as they sent me pulling that there wagon, I should have known this was how things was going to end. Of course, I can see the future. That's nice of you. Not so bad so far. Sure don't miss pulling. Sure you want to know? Alright.
The bull shakes itself, swallows the cup.
You're gonna die. Let me think about that now, too. Yeah. Soon, maybe.
The bull shrugs.
Here. I don't suppose you could do me a favour. Unhitch this here harness so as I can make my way to the...
The bull nods its thanks.
I knew you'd say yes.
The spirits of a magister and a dwarf are locked in ethereal combat. Their vicious blows make no impact, yet they struggle on. Mid-snarl, the dwarf...
Sorcerer! You must hate the Reds as much as I do, eh? Rightly so. Reds had sorcerers locked up tight in that caravan, and you...
The magister lunges for the dwarf, his exasperation clear.
Anna, you saw it with your own eyes. You know sorcerer's law, Voidwoken, and you know we'd all still be alive if you hadn't attacked our caravan.
Not to flip your flops or nothing, but 'tis more that my boss Lohar is against Magister.
The Magister snorts and...
Lohar, I should have known. Sorcerer, if you want to stay alive around these parts, you'll stay far, far away from that walking vermin. Though...
The dwarf eyes you steadily and silently, his mouth a straight... The Magister shrugs.
Well, if I knew that, we'd have taken him out long ago. All I can say is, he's somewhere in Driftwood. And everything before it all. Voidwoken stole the sorcerers along the cliffs, headed for Seven knows where.
Doubled over in agony, the shivering Magister spirit mumbles to himself, tightly clutching 3 golden stalks in one. Noting the attention, he straightens, revealing insignia spelling Kinnet, and a jagged wound spilling his innards upon the ground. He reaches a ghostly hand into your chest, and you become Kinnet. His memories flooding over you and warmth, comfort. You are Kinnet, playing cards with your mates in a cozy barracks. You stagger to tipsy attention as a white-clad magister commands that it's a one-man job, a job no man wants. Your sly-eyed troop leader holds out straws to you and the others. You feel the short straw and hear them shout, "Kinnet!" You know what that means. A lonely traipse in the cold dark. Massacre. Your lantern reveals ravaged corpses in every direction. Inhaling sharply, you smell a thick black stench you remember secondhand from the few void-woken corpses your troops have found. No. Kinnet's tears fall from your eyes as you recognize his beloved weapon. A dark thicket rustles to your left. A claw rakes savage stripes across your guts as Kinnet dies, staggering back from Kinnet's deathly grasp. Only your own blood now pumps through your heart. With your living eyes, you see him trembling in front of you, desperately holding out 3 straws. As your hands pass through the straws, they disappear. Kinnet weeps with relief as his wound disappears in turn, and he looks around, then looks at you, and then he smiles.
Do not doubt. Our divine order will prevail.
Oblivious to your presence, the 2 spirits weave their... The Magister turns to you, interest lighting up his hand...
You dare strike me? Step back at once.
There's only one way. Yes, there's a... Papa! Yes, yes, yes! He wanders. He roosts. But he is special. He can help people. Can keep him safe. Then you'd better be the best mama you can be. Care for people and stroke him and what? No!
The rooster looks his son over, first with one beady eye, then the...
He has my eye, but I see nothing but the void lurking behind those pretty peepers. Kill him now, Papa! Cute as a button. A button that could destroy... Papa!
Ty vole, co to kurva? Ty vole.
4 deer stand in formation near a crumbling altar. 3 stags, fawn-coloured and hearty.
Now.
Now. Now.
We run.
The 3 fawn-coloured stags shake their antlers. The clouds...
Huh? What? You vermin. I don't mean to fawn, but without you, that thing would have... I feel like I could eat a whole bloody...
The stag nuzzles you. Its soft, downy snout.
Snuggle, friend.
The ancient altar before which the deer crowded sits stark in the dappled forest light. Something about it draws you in. It seems to emit a faint pleat. The stones appear to be just that. Apart from a few faded red stains across the topmost slab, nothing. Gentle heat warms your hand. The air stirs, as though someone had appeared, and a voice rises around you, its source unclear. God woken. The word flutters against your ear. A jolting sensation pierces your heart. As the shock fades, you realize you've absorbed a mod. The whispers shuffle away, and the air shifts. Whatever...
They beat all those Void Woken? I'm impressed. keep my voice low. No need to wake the dead.
Look who's come to join the party. Oh, but you do get around, don't you?
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together.
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know it well. It's not just decomposing flesh and bone dust underfoot, you know. Why, the very
He presses a forefinger.
You understand enough, and there is something my heart, such as it is set on. Well, that's the gold-plated question it is. I dare say you'll enjoy that. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of belonged to a family buried near here. The Surreys. I've been reading up on them. Old Joanna was the last. The poor dear. Problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of work. Seems Joanna took its secrets to her grave. Rather literally.
His coy grin.
Hours spent on scholarship.
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze.
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I do not. And this heirloom could prove valuable for both of us. Beautiful.
He looks toward the graveyard.
I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some... Lovely day. Perfect weather for it.
This creature is as blank as a silent monk.
The creature barely notices your presence.
Let's see what spirits haunt this garden.
Locked in perpetual prayer. Keep trying, my friend.
We are an inspiration to our people.
Not inspiration, we're an example!
Dwarves leave their dead for the birds to consume? How barbaric.
We died.
The spirit is dressed in tattered ceremonial garb. Eagle feathers tangle in his beard.
My faithful eagles work still. They know their... See my feather fall here. Prime among my flock. He won't leave my body till naught remains but bleached bone. No ordinary hunger, but a trained hunger. Watch. See him hurts. My dear boy, no. All I feel is pride. He eats to free me. To free this spirit from its earthly ties.
Two dwarven spirits at loggerheads. In a flash, you are both of them, brother and sister. Your feminine side is a rebel, rising up against the tyrannical queen. As the brother, you rescue your sister from the pikes of the royal guard. Together, you flee across the sea to the melting... You are the sister, and you know that something is wrong. You climb the stairs to rescue your brother. Both of you die, but your killers do right by their fellow dwarves and bring you here to lay you to rest. As spirits, you fight for eternity. One convinced that the queen is a tyrant, the sister smiles. She feels vindicated.
Watching the birds pick your body clean is almost soothing. At least you know you're doing... And it means that elf ain't getting his claws on my corpse.
There was no glory and no point
Not mine specifically, but he creeps from grave to sepulchre, taking...
A grim expression passes across her face as she looks out over the grave.
The dead don't rest easy in this garden. Not by half. He lives in the big house by the gate. I ain't about to want the less I see of him.
You watch yourself. There's a word is that they'll be walking about with flesh. You're God-woken, ain't you? Don't ask me why. But some...
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked off by spies. That was no glory and no point to it either.
We are an inspiration to our people.
What's this? I found something.
At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host. Hollow, detached, yet in its eyes you see something more ominous. The spirit nods, and its face grows even more tortured. It is
This spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
The masked servant.
I've spotted something.
What's this? I found something.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation scratches as its counterpart. The statue doesn't move, no matter how much... The plinth of the statue bears a series of deep, circular scratches. You cringe at the sound of stone grating against... The statue rotates with... The statue rotates...
An elven ancestor tree. Even I can't deny the beauty.
Cremation pyre. From fire to ash, from ember to flame.
The servant responds with a...
She is always a warm sight in weary times.
Human graves. May the dead stay forever at rest.
Here lies Phylan Surrey, whose family's generous patronage helped build these burial grounds, and who refused to be buried in the Surrey crypt. Here lies an unnamed child of the Harkwood family. Their sorrows know no bounds.
He prays in silence. But to what God?
The masked servant. As you reach to push open the heavy door, the coils and whirls of engraved wood dance into a new pattern. The semblance of a face arrives.
A little sorcerer, come to you. are a sorcerer, are you not?
Silence greets your answer. In the distance, you hear the screech of an eagle. Worryingly closer, you hear some kind of a...
Enter.
The face melts back into the wood of the door, and the whirls swirl back.
Who builds a mansion on the edge of a graveyard?
The masked creep.
Death prowls above. Ascend.
What's this?
Truly beautiful.
I found something.
A visitor? Such a rare...
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eyes don't...
Call me Riker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely come a long way.
He grins and waves...
Nothing to be concerned with, I assure you. I enjoy living grandly. I know these aren't ordinary servants, but I prefer... Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. What I also see you are not...
He presses a slender forefinger against...
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek, if you offer something in return. A completely You must go to the Black Pits. There's a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet.
He points to the
Bring it to...
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel Zorstis's presence. You hear no words, yet the episode passes. Riker is peering at you intently. He awaits your reply.
A promise you'd...
Riker bows his...
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that trumps it. Now please...
The servant emits a menacing growl.
This part is gated off from the rest. Whoever is buried here must have been important.
Here rests the elven hero Halla. Here rests the human hero Garrick.
Čumte na tu aroganci, ty vole. Starý frajer, vole, a nemůže si vzít něco přes křik, vole. Čo? Aby si zhrnul. The chest before you is wreathed in flame, but doesn't seem to be actually burning. The flames dance above. You lean in to examine the images further, but are driven back by the chest before you is covered. You hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice emerges. The chest responds with more hissing. It's a language, but you don't understand it. Give it... The chest before you is covered. You hear a deep rumbling from inside.
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames.
The chest sits.
Consul Zara would rather see her ashes in the wind. Please honor.
Ty pičo, proč?
This? Help! I'm down here! A mind of this magnitude shouldn't be cursed to live like this. Can you dig me up? Don't worry.
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bits are still stuck.
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much. Except...
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Oh, but I don't just go around giving knowledge away like a common medium.
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then...
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. But I'm sure you'll be just fine. Battle is dangerous, is it not? I find it to be true anyway, even when you're battling your own mortality. The angst can prove... Oh, how fun. Just touch this bone on my rib cage here, right over where my...
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels different. Not until you try to pull your...
All right, mister. Deep thought. First up, our purpose in life. I say it's to accumulate...
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. You question your response the moment it leaves your lips. Your entire body shivers anxiously as you wonder, what is this life's true...
You poor, precious, pathetic thing. That's what happens when you get... Let's see if you can do better this time. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants. Is there... I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now.
You are immobilized by fear. Fear of the unknown.
Oh, the big lizard's as weak as a kitten. I hate to ask another question, but the bond demands it. Sorry, don't hurt yourself now. I know how trying this must be for you.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your... The truth of your final answer momentarily calms you, but it is not enough to ease the inner pain ripping through your mind, soul, and...
Such a pity.
Cože? Dobře.
More not for Crispin, a simpleton's idea of a clever man, and a poor man's idea of a rich one.
If it ain't Francis...
What's this? I found something.
A man paces back and forth, puffing anxiously on a pipe. His face is creased with tiredness.
If you're looking for healing or the like, then you'd best look elsewhere. My plate is full for now.
The man chomps on the bit of his pipe, generating a small cloud of nerve.
I came by a new patient, a young woman, very troubled. I'll do...
He gestures with his pipe for you to leave.
Fine. Just be careful. It's clear she's a powerful sorcerer, but also...
Across the cellar, a shape bearing some resemblance to a woman lurches around to face you. It utters a...
She senses us. Be calm and quiet. No sudden moves. You're right. I hadn't noticed before. Couldn't get close enough. We have... All right. We need her subdued, understand? Do whatever you...
Another gurgle. Sharper, angrier. Then...
Oh.
She's too strong. She must be weakened, or there's no way to help her.
Do prdele. Jo, takže musím jít na ní.
The young woman lies still on the floor, her breathing an uneven rasp. Swan's satchel of Swan approaches, cradling his arm with a grim...
Those summons of hers broke my arm. I'll do what I can to help, but... the rest is up to you. Tread carefully. One false move and she's dead.
Swan carefully holds her head steady with his... Something moves along her exposed lobe. It's a maggot of some kind. The maggot fights the pull of the forceps and sinks its hooked maw into brain matter. A chunk comes away with it as you pull it up. The woman's breathing has grown shallow as she hovers between life and death. All you can do is close her up and hope for the best. Swan shakes his head.
I can't. The work's too...
You replace the extracted bone and bind it with copper hooks. Then you draw the scalp back in place and start... The woman's breathing grows stronger, more even.
She's alive. You did it. I'll tend to her here for a while. She shouldn't be moved yet. It's a damn miracle that she survived.
The young woman blinks as she struggles to focus her vision on you. She looks...
It's you. I remember your face in the darkness. The Magisters arrested me in Arx for sorcery. They put me on a caravan bound for Fort Joy. They said I was going to become a pet for the hammer. I could feel myself changing. I tore off the shackles that held me, like they were parchment. I remember hearing screams, feeling the blood of others on my hands, and then I woke up here.
That was damn fine work you pulled off there. I'll keep an eye on her until she's ready to fend for herself. If you find yourself in need of potions or healing, help yourself. Everything I've... Till next time, take care of yourself.
What's that? It sounds like there's a battle unfolding nearby.
The shaggy dog keeps his distance, wary eye.
You run away. Everyone here run away. All run. All run. Something.
He cocks his head to one side.
I ran away from bad man. Very bad man. Man wanted to make me spider food. I know. I can sniff. Good and bad. Riker bad. Bad man. So bad. I liked his house, big garden of stones, lots and lots of bones to dig. But when I sniffed him, how he is for true, I ran and ran and ran.
He paws a few tentative steps closer.
Some bad. Most good. Good enough. Good enough.
He bounds forwards and licks your face effusively. His breath stinks of graveyard clay, and the dog scurries away to sniff about the area, leaving you with his approval.
Looks like this place has seen better days. Much better days.
Gareth toils in monotony. Gareth freezes, then turns slowly towards you.
I'm digging my murdered parents' grave.
Gareth moves to continue his task, but his cadence falters.
No, of course, Godwoken. I've seen Seeker's blood seeping into the sand. I waded through corpses on the deck of the Lady Vengeance. I just didn't know. I didn't know what darkness lied beyond pain. Dallas's pets. Such helpful tools they are, too. The abominations do the they're still there, spreading their rancid smell through the house. Paladins came to clean up the mess. In the name of Lucian, they said.
Gareth shies away from you. His eyes pass over the half-filled graves, and...
I'm the one who was prayed. An endless litany. How many pleas does it take?
Gareth forcefully exhales and looks past you to the nearby house. You fear he might snap the shovel's handle in two.
I've got no use for platitudes. Not from some mediocre sorcerer.
You swear you hear Gareth's pulse, galloping faster.
If you want to help, then you find the craven wight that ordered their slaughter. Anyone that stands between you and truth, no matter the flag they fly or creed they follow, make them bleed!
His clenched jaw tightens further, and then, in an instant, Gareth's guard is broken.
My parents, they did nothing to I'd give my own life to bring them back. You're right. There's nothing more to be done here.
What's the alternative? Guard this door forever? Feed them like pets? Get yourself together, man.
The two paladins Gareth mentioned are arguing in front of the door to the modest farm.
We're guarding this house. Wise to stay well back. There's a bunch of silent monks inside who've tasted blood today. Already, they didn't kill anybody. The magisters who controlled them did. You know Donna, she wouldn't hurt a fly. But they did turn her. And now she's not Donna anymore. Get it through... No, wait! Surely... Maybe someday...
The other paladin rolls his eyes and shakes his head.
In any event, it's our business, not yours. You just stay well away from the door and you'll be perfectly safe. You can't do that. They were people who were loved. It's not right to butcher them like cattle. You're right. You'll remember her as she was, Jad.
Paladin William nods his thanks to you. And with a last sorrow-filled glance at the house, Paladin Jad turns to...
But, fine.
The lumpen silent monk stands like a pillar of decaying flesh. So still it seems he is not even breathing. The silent monk looks... One of her hands trembles. Twitching, it reaches out to you. Her hand is cold and smooth, like that of a porcelain doll. Jerkily, her lips part, and her mouth moves. Did she whisper, or slay? Or did you only hear what you wanted to hear in the whispers of the wind? Slipping your hand free from... The silent monk stands with one arm outstretched, stroking the air in front of her. Her eyes squeeze shut, and her whole body trembles. Emaciated of body, this must be Donna, the one spoken of by the paladins guarding the door. She gives no indication at all that she has heard you, save for a single tear. Her tears flow along... Solid and immobile, the silent monk... He looks through your eyes with seeming disinterest as the light... This dwarven monk hangs his head, as if looking down at his feet. A wretched gurgling noise issues from him. Staring down into his face, you realize you were staring into mutilation. He does not resist in the least.
This Magister didn't die by a sword anyway. Something's afoot here.
I think this land holds still. At least...
The spirit of a woman cowers before you. She has her hand clapped. Something catches her eye. Terror swamps...
Somebody! Help! Find Wokan!
Villagers. Some slain by Voidwoken, others perhaps not.